Yo, what's poppin', people? It's Dante, currently walking around Philadelphia here. Check it out. Beautiful sunny morning. Fall is here. It's October 4th, and I'm looking at the river, and it looks crystal clear. It's reflecting back at me, and it feels good on my face. And so, yeah, today's thought is about snapshot photography and why the snapshot is the ultimate approach to street photography. So, firstly, spontaneity is the name of the game with this thing, right? We want to go out there and spontaneously embrace life, whether it's walking to a new place, photographing a new face. You know, there's something about the spontaneous nature of life and the way that we photograph with the sort of candid snapshot that is a very instinctive endeavor. And so when I photograph, I'm not thinking, I'm simply reacting and responding with my gut. And so, you know, you think of a photograph of, you know, a scene, you'll think of maybe, you know, the four corners around life, the geometry of lines and shapes, the emotion on the face, etc. But realistically, the photograph is merely a reflection of your soul, of your inner voice, of your inner sort of like spirit, that sort of thumos, that fire within you, that instinct when you press the shutter. You know, I like to think of it that way because I'm not rationally looking at the world as leading lines and different sort of geometric shapes, but I'm looking at life as, you know, this spontaneous place that is always in flux and is ever changing. And to evoke that in a photograph is quite simple. Stop thinking and just shoot. And so when you use a compact digital camera like the Ricoh, and you simply point and shoot as you move through the city at whatever catches your eye, like whatever, you know, I wouldn't even say your eye, whatever catches your gut, like whatever catches that sort of instinctive sort of response in your body that tells you to raise the camera to your eye and then press the shutter, right? And so this to me is the most liberating approach, because when I'm photographing this way, I'm simply embracing the spirit of play. You know, I don't really have anything to say, but it'll be said in my photographs. You know, that's where the spontaneity lies. It's in the unknown. It's in exploring. It's in that curiosity that we cultivate when we're out on the streets. And so for me, the spontaneous sort of snapshot, this candid approach to photography is so liberating when you think about it. Life and the external circumstances are out of our control. But what we decide to put in the four corners of a frame, you know, this is within our control, but we can't really determine whether or not we're going to come home with a good or a bad photograph every day. You know, what we can sort of control as a photographer is very simple. You know, where you position your physical body in the world in relationship to the subject and the background. And, you know, when you press the shutter, that's it. And what that means is, I can't determine whether or not there's going to be an incredible scene for me to photograph today. I can't determine whether or not I'm going to be able to photograph something that is impactful, emotional. But I can, you know, control my body moving physically through the world, you know, every single day. You know, where the goal is to sort of be in this perpetual flow state as a photographer, right? You want to be producing more photographs than less. You know, I find this to be the ultimate joy, is when I click the shutter, it's this feeling of life affirmation. And yeah, I think that is the ultimate joy of street photography. It's this feeling of bliss, this feeling of euphoria that is deriving from the gut, deriving from the instinct, deriving from the spontaneous nature of embracing the unknown on the street. You know, ultimately when I'm photographing things, I'm simply asking a simple question, right? I'm wondering, you know, what will reality manifest to be in a photograph today? And, you know, when the seasons change and the light falls different times of day now in the winter and fall, I'm intrigued because of the way in which it casts upon surfaces, people, places, and things. And the way that light falls upon these surfaces and moments that I photograph will never be the same, and you cannot make the same photograph twice. You know, that to me is such a powerful thought. And by embracing the snapshot throughout the day, I'm treating it like a visual diary of my day. I'm just photographing and sort of letting the chips fall as they may. I'm not trying to control really anything. And the beauty of using a compact digital camera like the Ricoh is the fact that you photograph with the LCD screen. And so when you remove the viewfinder from your eye and you photograph from your gut and your intuition, you know, this to me is where the imperfection in our compositions can sing, you know, for the sort of imperfections and the imperfect nature of life, I think is something that we can evoke in a snapshot. And you know, and when you're photographing these moments that are fleeting, and when you're photographing life itself, and when you recognize change and how everything's in flux, well, then you remember that you too are impermanent here on this earth, and you know, you have a finite timeline, and you will and must die, and yeah, maybe you can't live forever, but at least you can make a photograph. And I just think that's a very powerful thought. And oh shit, what's the QR code?
Yeah, that's to make sure I'm checking out the building.
Really? Yeah. Oh, so you lock in to work like that?
Yeah, so
oh,
know that I check this area,
yo, that's kind of cool. Yeah, keep it secure, man. Yeah. You scan the QR code at work. Wait, that's kind of, he's locked in, man. They got him tracked and everything. He's got that digital ID. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to try out a video today. I didn't really have anything to say for the past couple of months, but that's pretty much it. And check it out. Yeah, I'm just filming with the iPhone front-facing camera at 720p, 30 FPS, I think. And just trying to stay in the sun. It's a little chilly in the morning here in the fall. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, this is a really... Oh, I just picked up the Daido Moriyama Quartet book. Quartet. Yeah, I posted the flip through. Check that out. It's pretty good. And yeah, I'm just gonna snapshot here. Yeah, when I shoot, I take lots of photographs of the same thing. I think this is the ultimate way to shoot, is sort of just not thinking and just shooting. And sometimes not even looking, right? I'm just kind of, like, if you could see how I'm shooting from this angle, and you know, I'm just like throwing the camera around, and yeah, it's a fun way to shoot. Highly encourage giving it a try. And if you're curious about my workflow, go to dantesisifo.com, hit the books tab, and I've got a few different ebooks and lecture video slideshow thingies where you can follow along and learn something. Peace.